at 8 on WKYT this morning. Lexington police are investigating a deadly crash. Mike Byer will have the latest details ahead.
Also in Lexington, police have identified a woman wanted for shoplifting jewelry, and now there's a warrant out for her arrest.
And some big job cuts in the coal industry could be coming soon. That could cost some Kentuckians. That story's ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Sean Moody.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain. It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Mike Linden joins us now to talk about the rain that is moving in later today.
That's right, Michelle. We are seeing some of it right now. Just some light showers, but the heavy rainfall is still off to our west. What's key to remember when we start to see rainfall and then anticipate more of it is that we are already setting the stage so far this morning for potential flash flooding. You need the ground to be pretty saturated in order for that to happen. And we are already seeing some scattered showers over central and now moving into eastern Kentucky. Now, this doesn't have the look of a washout by any stretch, but it's enough so that if you're getting up early this morning to go to church, get some grocery shopping done for Independence Day, you're more than likely running into some wet weather. The heavy rain is still off to our west, right now moving into southern Indiana, essentially following this warm front like a conveyor belt. We're essentially going to see this heavy rain dive into the bluegrass, and then from the southwest, we'll see a cold front swing in as we head into Independence Day. That could enhance the severe weather threat as we start out the new work week. So coming up in about 10 minutes, this is what I'm going to break down. This active weather threat that does include the heavy rain and some strong winds to go along with it, but a potential severe threat as we move into Monday with the possibility of flash flooding. I'll take you hour by hour, show you when the rain will get here and how much we'll see. That's all coming up in about 10 minutes.
Mike, thank you. New this morning, Lexington police are investigating a deadly crash.
The crash happened just around 3:15 this morning on Russell Cave Road at Faulkner Avenue. That's near Interstate 64. WKYT's Mike Byers live in Lexington this morning with the latest details. Mike?
Good morning, Michelle. Lexington police have just reopened Russell Cave Road north of Faulkner Avenue after this morning's deadly accident. Now, details are still limited this morning, but here's what we know right now. Police say the driver of the car was heading outbound on Russell Cave Road when they went off the road and hit a tree. We're told just one person was in the car and no other cars were involved in the accident. Police had their crash reconstruction unit at the scene. All they have told us is that speed was a factor in the crash. Now, I can tell you the car was in such bad shape that it took 2 tow trucks to haul it away. Now, we are waiting on from information from the Fayette County coroner for any information on this driver. Of course, once we learn that information, we'll be sure to update you on air, online, and through our WKYT mobile news app. That's the latest here. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Thank you, Mike. In Perry County, we are learning new details about a deadly crash there. The coroner says a driver lost control near Kentucky 28, not too far from Buckhorn Mountain. Deputies say the driver, Jeffrey McDonald, died. His passenger, Terry Smith, is at the hospital. Deputies said he was in serious condition. Deputies believe alcohol played a role in the crash. And in Pulaski County, Somerset police say a woman has died after an SUV hit her. Police say Patricia Shaden was riding in her wheelchair near the intersection of US 27 and Langdon Street when a driver hit her. She went to the nearby hospital where the coroner said she died. Police are not sure if she accidentally got onto the road or if she was trying to cross US 27. The driver, an 18-year-old, was not injured.
Firefighters in Garrett County are trying to figure out what caused a house fire there. Lancaster police posted this video of a fire on Stanford Street. They were working to get it out there. The flames destroyed the house. Police say everybody inside got out safely. They did have to shut the street down for a couple of hours to fight that fire, but the road is now back open. Lexington police have identified a woman wanted for shoplifting jewelry. We showed you the surveillance video back on Wednesday. In it, a woman goes into Falcha Irish Import Shop in downtown Lexington, talks with the clerk, and then police say when the clerk is not looking, she shoves gold rings down her shirt. Police say our story helped them identify the woman in the video, and they've issued an arrest warrant for Julia Burford. Police say she stole more than $2,000 worth of jewelry.
Today marks 1 year since a Nelson County mother was last seen. Crystal Rogers was last seen on July 3rd, 2015. Investigators found her car along the Bluegrass Parkway near Bardstown. Her phone and purse were still in the car, and the Nelson County Sheriff says they're still searching, but they do not expect to find Rogers alive. Her boyfriend, Brooks Hauk, has been named a suspect in the case but has not been charged. Roger's mother says she just wants answers, and they're hoping signs along the parkway will lead to some of those questions.
If somebody comes through this year, you know, maybe on the same vacation, they may see that and just think, oh, I remember seeing that car, you know, there, and seeing somebody there. Somebody had to see something.
A prayer service for Rogers will be held Tuesday night at 8 at St. Thomas Church in Bardstown.
A Southern Kentucky cardiologist has been indicted for fraud. Dr. Anis Chalhoub is accused of putting pacemakers in patients without sufficient need and then billing the government for them. Chalhoub practices at St. Joseph London Hospital in Laurel County. The indictment says the surgeries happened between 2007 and 2011. The medical fraud charges carry a sentence of up to 10 years in prison. Chalhoub argues that the treatments were appropriate.
Some big job cuts in the coal industry could be coming soon. Murray Energy, the largest privately owned coal miner in the United States, is warning they could soon lay off thousands of people. The company says it could cut 4,400 jobs. That's about 80% of its workforce. The cuts would affect operations in 6 states, including Kentucky. Murray Energy blames the job losses on President Obama's environmental policies and on the increased use of low-price natural gas.
For every one job lost, we lose at least 3 other indirect jobs for every coal miner that loses his job. So it's a serious concern for Eastern Kentucky, but that concern has grown now. Now we see in Western Kentucky, which is where Murray Energy's operations are located in Kentucky, they're now talking about layoffs. Other countries have had layoffs.
There has to be a 60-day waiting period before a large layoff takes place. Murray Energy says if the layoffs happen, it will be sometime this September.
President Obama is praising author and Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel as, quote, one of the great moral voices of our time and in many ways the conscience of the world. Israel's Holocaust Memorial announced that Wiesel died yesterday at the age of 87. Wiesel survived the Holocaust, became a journalist and a best-selling author. He received the Congressional Gold Medal and won a Nobel Peace Prize. The United Nations named Wiesel a messenger of peace. In a statement, the president says Wiesel, quote, raised his voice not just against anti-Semitism, but against hatred, bigotry, and intolerance in all forms.
In Lexington, we're looking forward to celebrating the 4th of July this weekend. The fireworks display starts at 10 tomorrow night. The city is encouraging people to arrive an hour early. LexTran will run shuttles from the Transit Center to and from Commonwealth Stadium for $1 each way. The stadium will not be open, but you can park for free in the parking lots around the stadium to watch the fireworks.
I hope that crowd's able to stay dry out there tomorrow with the rain coming in. It's 8:08 now on your Sunday morning, and we are just getting started.
Hillary Clinton met with the FBI for more than 3 hours over her use of a private email server. The latest details on the campaign still ahead.
And the New York neighborhood put together a special block party for a soldier returning home this holiday weekend. We've got that story after Mike's forecast.
I'm tracking the potential for heavy rain on the way for this evening and into the holiday tomorrow, and we're talking flash flooding. I'll show you where we might see that coming up. Welcome back to WKYT this morning. We are in the midst of a first alert severe weather day with the potential for flash flooding in the bluegrass. Right now, though, on the Defender Radar Network, we're not seeing anything that out of the ordinary. This is just your run-of-the-mill showers. Not a washout by any stretch, but if you're waking up this morning, whether you're getting ready for church, you're just getting up early to start your day, if you're planning for some 4th of July festivities, well, if you're up early, you're more than likely running into some showers in central and western Kentucky. The heavy rain, or at least the bulk of it, is still off to our west. We're talking southern Indiana and Missouri getting in on most of it. But with this warm front here, we're essentially going to see this heavy rain following it like a conveyor belt right into the bluegrass. From the southwest, we have a cold front behind all of it that will essentially wipe the slate clean, but it will also usher in the potential for severe weather as we head into the 4th of July tomorrow. Here's a look at what you can expect for your Sunday, though. Maybe not the best day out there. Won't be a lot of sunshine. Temperatures will run cool if there's some silver lining to take out of today, but regardless, it looks like a wet and certainly a stormy one as we head into the second half of the day. Here is the area where we're going to find the most active weather: central, or at least north central Kentucky and northern Kentucky. If you live north of I-64, odds are you're getting in on some thunderstorms and potentially some flash flooding as we work our way through the evening hours. So let's break it down. We'll put the evening in motion. We'll start you off at 9 o'clock this morning. Mainly just some scattered activity as we head into the afternoon. It isn't until much later today, around 7, 8 o'clock or so, that we start to see things setting up. Remember, from west to east over northern Kentucky. Watch what happens. As we work our way through the evening, we'll see the heavy rain. When you start seeing the reds up there, that is some heavy rainfall. And notice that it's just planting itself over northern Kentucky and staying there. We started at 8, right? It's 2 o'clock in the morning by this time, so we're still looking at more active weather continuing to hang around all the way into 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That's where the flash flood threat comes from. A lot of rain in a short period of time over one particular place. By Monday, things do begin to dive south a little bit into central, southern, and southeastern Kentucky. So for the spots that maybe didn't get in on the widespread thunderstorms today, you'll more than likely see those tomorrow on the 4th of July, diving toward the mountains. Speaking of which, the holiday itself running a slight risk for severe weather. So this evening, it's mainly northern Kentucky, but for tomorrow, it's all systems go, really. We're looking at the potential for severe weather developing for almost every spot in the bluegrass. As far as the threats that we're looking at, flash flooding continues to be number 1. Number 2 would be the heavy or strong wind, I should say, up near about 35 miles per hour at times, especially so into Monday. So things get going a little bit later this afternoon and pretty much don't let up until the end of the evening tomorrow. Tuesday, we're not out of the woods either, still looking at additional rounds of storms. It isn't until Wednesday that we get a break somewhat from the active weather. More scattered storm chances, but look at those temperatures beginning to get back into the mid to low 90s by the end of the work week. So this will certainly be a week to test your will because we are looking at not only the heavy rain, the potential for severe weather, but also some hot temperatures to close out the week. Summer is here.
And probably some high humidity to go along with those temperatures.
Oh,
well, of course,
yes.
John.
Can't wait.
Yes.
Can't wait. Thanks, Mike.
So this holiday weekend is time for Americans to celebrate freedom. And for one soldier coming home, he got a surprise he'll never forget.
A U.S. Army Specialist Daniel McFall is back home in New York this morning, and this was his welcome home party. It was supposed to just be a small family gathering, but you can see it quickly turn into a huge block party as the word got out. The fire department, veteran bikers, local Boy Scout troop, and of course, family and friends all lined up to salute an American hero.
All the time you were away, we thought about you, every moment. We miss you so much. It's so great to have you back.
Specialist McFall will have 3 weeks of well-deserved R&R. He and his girlfriend are also heading to Disney World after a holiday weekend with the family.
That is so great to see. What
Yeah.
a great welcome home.
Absolutely. Great little break from things there.
So I hope you're having a great morning so far. And when we come back, we'll have more news for you.
Yeah, the FBI interviewed Hillary Clinton about the use of a private email server while she served as Secretary of State. We'll have the latest details on the campaign coming up.
Oh, before we go, Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is a whopping $449 million. And Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $257 million. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning. It is 8:18 on your Sunday, and we're following news overseas this morning.
78 people have been killed and at least 160 wounded after a car bomb went off in the center of Baghdad overnight. ISIS claimed responsibility for the attack online. A second bomb attack in eastern Baghdad killed 5 people and wounded 16.
3 students studying at colleges in the United States were among the 20 hostages killed in a terror attack in Bangladesh. The White House confirmed that a U.S. citizen was among the hostages killed, but did not release any further identification. 9 people from Italy, 7 people from Japan, and 3 people from Bangladesh were also killed. Covering the campaign this morning, presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton met with federal investigators for more than 3 hours yesterday morning.
Yeah, the FBI interviewed her about the use of a private email server while she served as Secretary of State. Wei Zhang reports from the agency's headquarters in Washington.
A motorcade surrounded Hillary Clinton's Washington home on Saturday morning. She was in town for an interview with the FBI about her use of a private email server while she was Secretary of State. Afterward, Clinton spoke to MSNBC.
It was something I had offered to do since last August. I've been eager to do it, and I was pleased to have the opportunity to assist the department in bringing its review to a conclusion.
The probe comes just 4 weeks before she's set to be formally nominated as the Democratic presidential nominee. But some believe the damage to her credibility has been done.
This entire situation, though, is a public relations disaster of the Clintons' own creation.
Campaign sources say the interview lasted for about 3.5 hours here at FBI headquarters. Although the meeting was not a surprise, it capped off what was an already trying week for Clinton.
U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch decided not to be involved in the final decision in the case after her private meeting with Clinton's husband, former President Bill Clinton, sparked controversy.
I certainly wouldn't do it again. Because I think it has cast this shadow.
Clinton's critics have long called for formal charges, but legal experts view criminal prosecution as exceedingly unlikely. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Washington.
All right, it's 8:21 now. There's still more to come this morning.
Sports news is coming up.
It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day as we round out the holiday weekend and head into the holiday tomorrow, of course, that being Independence Day. Right now, we're tracking wet weather, but nothing on the scale of what we'll find later this evening as we head into your Monday. Odds are if you're waking up in central Kentucky this morning, you're going to get a little wet. Just some showers, very light showers, nothing that's going to put a damper on the first half of your day. We'll pretty much have to wait until around 4 o'clock or so for the thunderstorms to develop, and those look likely to continue overnight and into tomorrow. We're mainly looking at northern Kentucky. If you live north of I-64, it's going to get noisy out there later this evening, and it's going to get wet. That is the biggest area of concern when we're talking about flash flooding. Of course, what you need is a lot of rain in a short period of time over one particular area, and that looks likely to develop north of I-64. So we'll fast forward to later this evening. This is 8 o'clock, and watch what happens. Setting up from west to east, heavy rain, the orange and the reds, those are some heavy downpours and thunderstorms. Tracking eastward and pretty much not going anywhere until Monday afternoon. It's at that point that things do begin to dive a little bit further south, but we're still tracking the chance for some severe weather on Monday as well. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has placed Kentucky under slight risk for severe weather on Monday. So an active, noisy, wet evening for the Bluegrass, and that looks likely to continue into Monday. Lee K. Howard is back in next with sports.
Alex Poitras went undrafted, but he's getting a shot to make an impression with the Orlando Magic's Blue Squad in the NBA Summer League. The Orlando Summer League getting underway yesterday. And Poitras showing off his athleticism, the lob and the dunk on the break. Poitras just 2 of 6 from the field yesterday. Then in the second half, cutting down the lane for the easy bucket. Poitras just 4 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist in his first pro game. Pacers would win the game by 27. More Summer League. It's Aaron Harrison and the Hornets. Last season, Harrison split time between Charlotte and Oklahoma City in the D-League. Harrison struggling with his shooting, though, in yesterday's game against Orlando's White Squad. Here he nails the long two-pointer. Harrison just 2 of 12 from the field. How about a three-pointer from the left corner? He did make 7 of 10 from the free throw line, finished with 12 points and a 5-point loss. Marcus Teague trying to get back in the league, playing with the Mavs, facing Dakari Johnson and the Thunder. Teague, top of the key, the move, and gets to the rim for the bucket. Teague had 13 on 4 of 9 shooting. He also had 4 boards and 2 assists. Then off the miss, Johnson with a strong putback and the foul. Johnson played in 50 games last season with OKC's D-League team. And then as time was running out of the half, Johnson scores over Jaleel Cousins. That's the little brother of DeMarcus Cousins. Johnson finished with 12 points and 9 rebounds in a 1-point win. Well, it took former Wildcat A.J. Reed 16 at-bats to get his first major league hit for the Houston Astros. That hit coming against the White Sox on Friday night. The same 2 teams were meeting up last night, Houston and Reed, with another milestone. His first major league home run, a solo shot in the 9th inning off David Robertson. That brought the Stros within a run. However, the White Sox would get the win in the game, 7-6. And that's a look at your morning sports. Have a great day.
Now at 8:30 on WKYT this morning, we've learned the name of the driver killed in a deadly crash here in Lexington. Mike Byers live with the latest details.
And in Scott County, police officers will be out in force this holiday weekend, making sure people stay safe while they celebrate 4th of July.
And if you live in Lexington, you might want to rethink shooting off fireworks. Certain types are banned. We'll tell you what you can and can't use this 4th of July weekend. It's
This is WKYT This Morning.
Oh, hey there. I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Thanks so much for joining us.
And I'm Sean Moody. It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. We want to get you over to Mike Linden as he has a look at rain that's moving in.
That's right, Sean. It's already wet as we get our Sunday morning started. The heavy rain is still off to our west. You can see it just north of Owensboro there. Mainly what we're seeing early this morning are some scattered showers. Nothing that's making it a washout by any means, but if you're getting your Sunday morning started early, odds are you might have to use the windshield wipers, especially along I-75 and if you're heading northbound. Now, if we take a wider look, as we just saw near the Owensboro area, that's where we're finding some of that heavy rain. There's still a lot more of it out to our west. If you think about this warm front here like a conveyor belt, that's how this heavy rain's going to behave, working its way right along that frontal boundary, diving into the bluegrass, and pretty much staying here for at least 12 to 24 hours. From the southwest, we'll get in on heavier wet weather as well into Monday, I should say. But at that point, things will have dove a bit further south. Coming up, I'll break down the severe weather threat that looks to hang around not only through the evening tonight, but into tomorrow as well. And we're talking flash flooding is possible to develop. Coming up, I'll take you hour by hour, show you when the rain will get here, how much we'll find, and whether or not it could lead to flash flooding near where you live.
All right, Mike, thank you. New this morning, Lexington police are investigating a deadly crash.
The crash happened at around 3 o'clock this morning on Russell Cave Road at Faulkner Avenue. That's near Interstate 64. WKYT's Mike Byers live in Lexington this morning with the latest. Mike?
Good morning, Michelle. We now know the name of the person who was killed this morning on Russell Cave Road. The Fayette County coroner tells us 20-year-old Stephen Barrett died at the scene. Police tell us Barrett was driving his car just after 3 a.m. They say Barrett was heading outbound on Russell Cave Road when he went off the road and hit a tree. We're told he was the only person inside the car and no other cars were involved in the accident. Police had their crash reconstruction unit at the scene. All they have told us is that speed was a factor in the crash. Now, I can tell you, and you saw in the video earlier, the car was in such bad shape that it took 2 tow trucks to haul it away. That's the latest here. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. We also have an update on a crash we first told you about yesterday morning here on WKYT. The Fayette County coroner says the man injured in a crash has died. The coroner says Jonathan Hughes lost control on Bryan Station Road early yesterday morning. We're told his car went off the road and hit some trees. Hughes went to UK Hospital, where he later died from his injuries. Lexington police are also looking for 2 people after a crash on Eastland Parkway. They say someone drove a car into a creek, and then witnesses said they saw 2 men run away after the crash. The owner of the car reported it stolen. Police think one of the men has face and head injuries.
This morning, Southland Christian Church will remember its founder, the Reverend Wayne Smith. Smith started the megachurch, which later moved to Jessamine County in 1956. It has since become the largest church in central Kentucky, with campuses on Richmond Road and in Danville. His visitation will be held this Tuesday and Wednesday at Southland Christian on Harrodsburg Road. His funeral will also be there on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Smith died this past Wednesday. He was 87 years old.
We have a traffic alert for drivers in Woodford and Scott counties. The State Department of Transportation has shut down a bridge connecting the two. Leaders say the Weisenberger Bridge is not safe. It's a 1-lane bridge that crosses South Elkhorn Creek between the 2 counties. Locals say the state wants to put in a 2-lane concrete bridge, but they don't want that to happen. One local engineer we talked to said his design for the 86-year-old bridge would limit accidents and keep the historic area protected.
I put the Pony Pratt trusses that are on the bridge now to maintain the historical value of the old bridge. And then we limited by guardrails a 1-lane passageway for vehicles, and would also give safe passage for people walking across the bridge.
Inspectors said they found advanced deterioration on the bridge on Thursday. There's no estimate on when they'll be able to open that route back up. Drivers can use Browns Mill Road or US 62 as a detour. Large trucks should use US 62.
Police officers across Kentucky and the rest of the country are staying pretty busy this holiday weekend. Georgetown police officers are increasing the number of officers they send out on the streets. They're ready to respond to firework complaint calls. One officer tells us the calls come out as shot-fired calls, depending on the area of the complaint. Now, he says it's usually people trying to sleep for work the next day.
Just to respect others as far as their, what they're trying to do as far as sleep or family time, whatever it may be. They're pretty compliant with it. They understand.
Georgetown's code is similar to the state's when it comes to fireworks. They're okay between 10 in the morning and 10 at night, but tonight and tomorrow night, those hours are extended to midnight.
If you live in Fayette County, the rules for fireworks are a little bit different here. Lexington leaders want to remind you that fireworks that fly up into the air and explode are banned. That includes fireworks like Roman candles and bottle rockets.
They're high-grade flammable products, and they can ignite at a very high temperature and cause extensive burns.
Keep in mind, though, that there are some smaller items you can buy to set off this weekend.
This is probably our most popular item. These are called poppets. They're these little things, you pick them up and throw them on the ground, and they make a loud boom. Your basic sparklers, more sparklers, bigger sparklers. We got a lot of sparklers.
Lots and lots of sparklers. Firefighters say if you're lighting fireworks, make sure you do it away from buildings, people, and cars, and save the big fireworks for the pros.
And speaking of the pros, if you're going to Lexington's fireworks show tomorrow night, here's some info for you. Starting at 8, no one will be allowed into the Arboretum. That's the area shaded in yellow that you see here on the map. Parking and viewing areas are set up around Commonwealth Stadium. The lots on the south side are for parking and viewing the show. Lots on the north side are for parking only. There is a viewing only area set up. Families are encouraged to bring chairs and blankets and enjoy the show. We have a complete list of displays around Central Kentucky happening this weekend on our website, WKYT.com. I love poppets. Just throwing them on the ground. Kind of fun. So your time now is 8:37. Coming up on WKYT this morning.
A son gives his dad a patriotic surprise just in time for Georgetown's 4th of July parade. That's ahead on WKYT this morning.
Active weather is already on its way, and heavier rain is soon to follow. Coming up, I'll break down the potential for flash flooding as we continue on this WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Welcome back. It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day as we round out our holiday weekend and head into what is the Independence Day on Monday. We are tracking what looks to be flash flooding, or at least the potential for it, over central and northern Kentucky. Right now on the Defender Radar Network, we're finding some scattered showers. Nothing that's going to make your Sunday morning a washout, but gray skies are likely to hang around through the morning and into your afternoon. The bulk of the heavier rainfall still lies off to our west. We're seeing some of it over southern Indiana, but the real core of this system still lies off to our west over eastern Kansas. But if you think about this warm front like a conveyor belt, we're essentially going to find that heavy rain following that same track, working its way right on into the bluegrass from west to east. From the southwest, a cold front swings into the bluegrass into Monday. That's set to bring us what looks to be another shot at severe weather. Here's your hour-by-hour breakdown of Sunday. Again, if you planned on being outside today, you might want to have other plans. Not looking nor feeling like the greatest day out there today. The wet weather, as we're already seeing some of it this morning, is only going to get more widespread in coverage. And then later this evening, we are looking at the heavy rainfall sticking around. So this is what we're looking at for this evening. The widespread threat looks to be north of I-64. Those are the locations where we're tracking the heavy rain and the potential for flash flooding. Southern and southeastern Kentucky, a bit more scattered, but we will see some active weather moving into those spots into Independence Day. So this is your hour-by-hour forecast. We'll start you off at 9 and move through the afternoon. Again, things aren't as widespread from now up until about 8 o'clock this evening. It's by that point, though, that we begin to see the active weather settling over northern Kentucky. Watch this. So again, west to east, That's how we're going to find this active weather, just sitting in place. These thunderstorms dropping a lot of rainfall during this time as well, overnight and through the evening and right up and into tomorrow afternoon. That's what you need for flash flooding. Heavy rain in a short period of time over one particular area, and that is likely to continue as we head into Independence Day on Monday. Notice, though, we are seeing the wet weather tracking further south, as those spots earlier that would only get in on the scattered storms, southern and southeastern Kentucky, will begin to see the thunderstorms by Monday afternoon. We're not out of the woods on Tuesday either. More active weather by that point as temperatures begin to rebound a little bit, but that's only going to make things feel more humid. Your Independence Day Monday, a slight risk for severe weather almost statewide. That's that cold front behind the active weather that we talked about swinging in from the southwest. That will get here as we get into the start of the work week. We're also looking at some strong winds as a part of this system as well. Those look to arrive on Monday too, but the flash flood threat looks to be this evening as we head into Monday. Again, northern Kentucky, if you live north of I-64, it's just a good idea to keep an eye on any small creeks or streams if you happen to live nearby them, because there is a chance for some localized flash flooding in those spots. Daytime highs cooler than normal today and tomorrow as well. And once things do begin to get a little bit better by the middle of the work week, at least the widespread storm coverage, temperatures aren't going to make you feel that much better. We're back to the mid to low 90s with humidity rising as well. So this is definitely going to be a week of weather to test your will. This is for all the folks out there that were just waiting for summer to get here, couldn't deal with winter anymore. Here's summer in Kentucky in full force.
And it's not the weather you hope for July 4th.
No, I mean, you definitely want those clear skies. Hopefully things can improve at least for a small window of time for some of those firework displays. But at least the bulk of the action is tonight into tomorrow. Be safe out there.
Good deal. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
The son of a World War II veteran in Georgetown wanted to make sure that his dad would stand out in the city's 4th of July parade.
Yeah, so he gave his dad a patriotic surprise. WKYT's Caitlin Sittner was there when the son showed Dad his new ride.
Everybody up, please. We've got a surprise.
The secret, a gift a long time in the making.
Well, I thought if it doesn't hurry up and happen, I'm going to lose it all.
Well, here, something.
Come on out, Dad.
A restored war vehicle with Sidney Heisel's service number from his time in the U.S. Navy.
Navy specific, all the vehicles have 94 in front of their numbers.
And his ship number from World War II.
And I helped take it down the Mississippi River in late 45, I think.
You want to get it and take it for a spin?
Think I can drive it?
The war isn't something Heisel talks much about, but his service is something his son is beyond proud of.
It was unbelievable that it meant something to him to see that happen. I really can't put it into words.
It's hard to describe. It just hits your ear. So, how can you describe something that deep? You got to really appreciate it. And I really don't understand that devotion, but I do appreciate it.
There was devotion. It took 5 years, countless man hours to make what's old new again.
Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable that we've got it this far from where it came, because it was unrunning basket case.
But it was worth it for this moment 4 generations of Heisels were able to experience together.
Do y'all know in 3 days we will have been married 67 years?
Monday, Sidney will drive the Jeep in Georgetown's parade.
That hasn't sunk in yet. All of this has got me overwhelmed.
In Georgetown, Caitlin Sittner, WKYT.
I'd love to see him in that parade.
Yeah.
His new Jeep.
Looks right at home there in the driver's seat. Pretty cool.
So your time now is 8:46.
We'll have more news when we come back.
Welcome back. A Tennessee woman has started an online petition just to keep her pet.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's not exactly a common pet. There you go, Maple the pig. She's not the most common pet you might find, and the city's animal control sent Maple's owner a notice saying she had to give Maple up. The city's ordinance says you can't have livestock within 1,000 feet of someone else's home. An online petition supporting Maple has more than 15,000 signatures, though. And how can you know, she's got her little painted hooves. I don't know. Is she so little?
You know,
we'll see what happens.
You know, I don't know what to say. She did name her Maple.
Yeah, we'll see what
happens. I
happens.
find that interesting.
Coming up on CBS Sunday Morning, celebrate 100 years of our national parks. Then chat with Bill O'Reilly and get a little strange with Weird Al Yankovic.
It's all coming up on Sunday morning right here on WKYT from 9 to 10:30.
Now, as far as your active weather goes, as we round out the holiday weekend and head into the holiday tomorrow, we're looking at heavy rainfall, especially north of I-64. That will begin later this afternoon and continue through the evening and into Monday. So for that reason, flash flooding is a possibility for any areas north of I-64. That will continue through the day on Monday, the 4th of July, as we also are tracking some strong winds too. We'll have all the weather information update on WKYT throughout the day.
All right, thanks for joining us. Have a good one.